sillier and sillier every week. Hello, everybody. Welcome to, wow, that's a lot. Anyway, welcome to another edition of Spiritual Sessions Live with
Debbie Creagh and
Norwood Young. Yeah, hi, Dad.
Hi, babe. How are you?
I'm good. So listen, we hope everybody's week was amazing. Ours was filled with birthday parties and manifestations and just stuff. Yeah. So without further ado, I want to just say this first. It's important that you follow us on YouTube. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. We want to change our platform from Facebook Live exclusively to YouTube, but we need 1,000 subscribers in order to do that. So please, 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 even if you don't watch the old footage that's there, please at least go and subscribe. Please do that for us. That'll be a great, great Christmas gift.
Yeah, it would. Yeah.
So first I want to introduce our producer, Sally. Sally, say hi to the people. Hi. So you'll be hearing us reference Sally throughout the show. So Debbie.
Yes.
I see balloons.
Yes. Yes.
Would those balloons possibly be from the other night?
They might just be.
And what happened on the other night?
Well, I have this best friend, yes, and he threw an amazing surprise party for me.
He must be some kind of guy. I tell you, he must be some kind of guy. So it was your birthday?
It was my birthday, but my birthday started on Thursday.
Okay.
When my bestie, you,
oh God,
the cat's out of the bag, organized a wonderful meal in a wonderful Indian restaurant called
on
Thursday. And we had magic tricks done by the owner the whole night. We were entertained. We had wonderful cocktails and celebratory drinks and one of the best Indian food. What?
Do you drink?
It's my birthday.
Okay.
I can have a little cocktail.
You can have as many cocktails as you want.
Well, actually, we were very good. We only had about 2.
Right. Compared to.
And then,
what
on Friday.
So wait, on Thursday, were you given any gifts?
Oh yes.
What were you given?
My hair.
And did your bestie get your bestie?
My bestie got me my hair, yes, which I loved. And also a wonderful cover for my suitcase. My new suitcase to keep it safe and protected. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yes,
So now take us into Friday. What happened on Friday?
So, and it was interesting because on my birthday, on Thursday, my bestie wasn't really coming out for lunch with me and was kind of busy doing things, and I thought, okay, that's a little strange. It's my birthday. He's only going for a coffee with me. Okay. I'll have dinner later on, but okay. And so I arrive at Mikey Choo's for our usual Friday night for 4 months.
Didn't you come to rehearsal on Thursday?
I came to rehearsal on Thursday, but you told me to come at 3:30.
I told you to come at 3:30.
And not to come at 1 o'clock like normal. What I didn't know is...
What she didn't know is that she has not been performing her solo songs at Maggie Choo's for a few weeks. So she assumed that she wasn't going to be singing her solo songs on her birthday. So what I did was I made a special time to meet the band, to rehearse her songs for her, and surprised her on Friday when I on stage introduced her singing her songs. So in the moment, she couldn't act so surprised. So she had to figure out how she was going to pull this off.
Yeah.
Remember the words.
Yeah,
not that the audience knows that she's not prepared. It was a priceless moment. Priceless moment.
It was priceless. It was fabulous. And I enjoyed every second of the opportunity that you gave me to perform. One of them, I was doing a very drama, throwing my jacket on the ground.
Look, it was borderline bluesy, guys.
It was totally classy and had everyone going. It was fabulous.
Yes, it did.
And on Friday, we arrived at Maggie Choo's a little earlier than normal.
Yeah, because I told her we needed to be at Maggie Choo's early because I needed to do some preparation with the the placement of the instruments and this, that, and the other. She fell for it. Because we
Yeah.
go together, she fell for it. Like, I knew that was going to be easy. Maybe we got to get to the venue early because there's some things I need to do. Okay. I said, because it's your birthday, we should probably dress up a little bit. That was easy. So when she walked in, there was 15, 20 or so people yelling surprise. No, but what actually happened is I made her walk toward the dressing room so she wouldn't look over at where the people were. And as we were walking in the dressing room, she heard her name, Debbie, Debbie, Debbie. And when she turned around, surprise!
Yeah, I could hear everyone screaming my name, and the lights were on. I couldn't see anybody. And then there was balloons everywhere, and ribbons on things, and sparkles and everything. And I thought, oh my God, I can't see anybody. And there was this huge group of people at the table running at me, hugging me, happy birthday. And yeah, it was a lot. It was a lot. I was very surprised. I've never had a surprise birthday party before. This was my first one. And it was so magical. Everybody brought gifts. We sat and did a gift thing. Then there was flowers. Then there was special vegan cake. We got my favorite bakery and found that they did a vegan cake so everyone could have it at the table, and it was just magnificent. But you didn't give me the cake at the table.
No, because no. Where did I give the cake?
You did a dedication on stage to me, which was very moving, and then you brought me on stage singing Happy Birthday, which was fabulous.
Thank you very much.
It was beautiful. Happy Birthday with all the band and everything singing. It was exquisite. And then behind me was the birthday cake coming, and I think all of Maggie Chu's.
Yeah.
It's not Happy Birthday. I had a private party at Maggie Chu's.
Right, with other people.
With other people,
exactly.
yeah. And
Exactly.
it was the best night of my life, hands down, definitely.
Well, that didn't end the night though.
No, so just when you can't really, I had to run backstage a little bit to, process everything, because I was very, very moved by all the trouble you went to and all the surprises. There was just so many. And then we came back and we were having something to eat or something. I can't remember.
Okay, that's the cocktails. After the performance, Sally, Debbie, and I came back here to my condo where we didn't have any birthday cake. We had nothing to eat at all.
I don't know what we came.
We came back because I said there's more stuff.
Oh, there's more stuff.
There's more stuff.
So he blindfolded me and got me to walk into the kitchen and said surprise, and I opened my eyes.
Now let me preface it. So Debbie does all of her readings and meditations and Reiki and all of the things she does in her home. And if you're privileged enough to be in her home, she offers you what I think is an obsession, but she offers you tea, and she is so excited about her tea. Oh, I have this one, and I have this one. Oh, this tea is rare. About the tea already. So I'm just like, oh God. But I'm just gonna say it. It's the ugliest teapot ever. With mismatched cups, and I'm like, how does somebody be this doggone excited about damn tea in this horrible kettle and these cups? But I said, listen, if you can't be a part of the solution, don't be a part of the problem. So I just shut up and I said nothing. But I gifted her with a
magnificent glass crystal teapot that looks like an Aladdin's lamp, and guys, it has diamonds all over it.
Crystals, but no.
Well,
it's etched. It's personally etched with Debbie's initials DC in calligraphy. In between the D and C is a crystal, diamond-shaped crystal, and on the top is a round-shaped crystal. Nonetheless, it's an elegant and beautiful teapot, and 2 cups and saucers that are reminiscent of the beautiful woman that's next to me.
Aww.
She paid me to say that.
No, it actually, I didn't have words when he gave it to me. It is absolutely the most beautiful. I've never seen anything like it before, have you? Never. It's magnificent. So I'm looking forward to showing it off to all my clients. But you're doing
I think
yes.
that myself and Sally
Yes.
should be the first ones to be served from your new tea kettle.
Well, I think we should.
Right, Sal?
Yeah.
That's right.
I think we should feature it next week. So everyone can see
All right.
why it looks so wonderful.
All right.
And then
And then,
he sat me down and he said, "You've got a message." And my phone went ding, and you've got another message, ding, 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 ding. And he had called people and text people all over the world and asked them, "Please, can you celebrate, because you're not here, or you may not be able to come to the party. Can you please celebrate Debbie and send a video?" And I had the most beautiful
Video
messages from
messages.
around the world, from America and Nigeria, and people in Bangkok in different parts. It was, wow, it was a
so
lot.
we had a birthday dinner,
Yeah.
surprise birthday party,
Yeah.
and a surprise after birthday
Yeah.
party, and
Yeah.
it was wonderful, right?
It was honestly, it's more than a birthday party. It was like a life celebration in 2 days.
Anything for my Bangkok bestie, baby.
And I just want to put it out there to thank you for showing me the friendship and love that you have to me and the support to me. It really meant the world to me. Thank you, baby.
You deserve it. You deserve it. And I want to personally thank everyone who reached out to Debbie on Facebook who wasn't at either of the parties. However, who reached out to wish her a happy birthday and showed love and support. That is wonderful. That is what life is about, just showing appreciation and love. And for the first time since I've been here, I've seen such an outpouring of love, and I've seen change in Debbie that I've seen an amazing change from a year ago. And it's time it should be celebrated, and I want us to be a part of that.
Thank you. You're a big part of that.
Yeah.
You're a big part of the happiness that I have in my life as well.
Thank you.
When you have, someone in your life that on a daily basis celebrates life with you, that's a gift.
What we do, we're nuts. We show that and we'll move forward. I see my Bangkok bestie. We live like maybe 7 minutes away from each other, maybe 5 when you walk. So we see each other every morning for cocktails and cocktails. What do you say? We try to meet every morning for coffee because I walk the dog to the Starbucks, whatever. And then depending on what our days look like, we might see each other during the day, maybe not. But then we generally see each other on the evenings. So when you see somebody that much, one would tend to think it would be overwhelming. But this one is so crazy. It is a belly laugh, and then we talk about our spiritual stuff and growth and this, that, and the other, and then her clients and my students. So it's always a wonderful thing. So thank you. Because coming to a foreign place, knowing nobody, and being blessed with a few people, one of which is Asia. She says, "Hi, Asia." Hi, sweetie. Asia was at the party tonight, and she gave me the most
beautiful bouquet of flowers.
Beautiful.
Absolutely beautiful.
Beautiful.
Absolutely.
So what I was saying is, one would think that it would be overwhelming and crazy, but it's not.
No.
And for me, you think that you're blessed. I'm so blessed.
Oh.
I was here alone, and people who live in our world and think the way we think, it was nothing but divine order that blessed me with this effortless situation every day. So I'm always in a place of comfort. Okay, I'm mushy.
No, but it's true. It's like we talked about this the last day about doing the right things for you and following the right path and having the right people in your life. What did you say? Attracting the vibes of your
Attract the vibes in your tribe.
Yeah.
You attract the vibe in your tribe. You see?
Yeah.
So you're only we'll talk about that later tonight. You attract yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's move along let's talk about our weekly manifestations. Okay?
Great God, I was a friend.
What are you reading the producer note? What is it? Anthony Bowie? And he says what?
Says, "You are a great guy to know as a friend."
Oh, that I am?
Yeah.
Thank you, Anthony. Oh,
Yes.
thank you. Thank you, man.
It's true.
Thank you, man. So let's talk about our weekly our manifestations because
Yes.
oh, just look at that. What is that? Is that a
my
feather that I found? Would that be a feather I found today? Would that be? Sal, would you show the people my feather?
Who was with you when you found the feather?
Well, this is one of 3 that I found today. Thank you very much.
God.
Yes, and for those of you who don't know about the feathers and feathers appearing in front of you, basically it's just signs of protection and direct signs of angels protecting you. So yeah. I started my morning off with 2 feathers.
And I got 1.
And she got 1 and it blew away.
Yeah, and it's actually a very good one. But actually, we've been getting a lot of messages from people who are actually starting to look at the feathers and butterflies.
And they're seeing.
And they're starting to see them, and they're getting very excited and looking up the meanings of it. And they're like, "This is fun. This is actually kind of quite magical when you start connecting and looking for it." Yeah, there's people writing in, sending me lots of pictures. Keep sending me pictures of your feathers. Yeah, a lot of people doing that, so that's wonderful.
So there was another example of your manifestation. We talked about it one at dinner.
Yes, I had a certain amount in my mind that I needed for something to make
Amount
this
of what? Money? Okay.
Yeah, and it came effortlessly to me this week, and it was almost like the work that I had to do for it was joyful. It was like, oh, I'm being paid for doing nothing because the people were so wonderful. The last 2 weeks, actually, I've met really, really wonderful people.
The last 2 weeks, and I don't want to jump around. So the last 2 weeks is when we came back from Myanmar, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just gonna keep that feather in your cap because we're gonna come back to Myanmar. You see how I did that?
Yeah, I saw.
Keep that feather in your cap. We're gonna come back to that. Nope. So, is that all you manifested this week?
Gosh, I'm manifesting all the time.
This week specifically.
This week specifically,
Okay, I'll take it.
okay, go for it. I'm trying to think.
No. All right. So we always talk about here recently the fact that our spiritual connection has started to turn into telepathy of sorts.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like we'll finish each other's sentences, or I'll say, "Come on, girl, tune into me. Tell me what I'm thinking." So, what I'm getting ready to do right now, Debbie has no idea, and she may not even get it, right? But I'm just going to see. Sally, you have no idea. Okay, so, something occurred today, okay,
Oh God.
that has to do with this new condo,
Okay.
something that I desired.
You got your oven.
Yes! Wow, that was big. All right, so listen, guys.
Yay!
No, very rarely are there condos that have ovens unless they're 20 or 30 years old. So about 5 months ago, I went to a friend's condo and she had an oven. Anybody who knows me knows that I'm a consummate cook. I love to bake. I love I love everything that needs an oven. And all we have here are these little teeny tiny ovens. So I went to someone's apartment, a condo, a couple months ago, about 5 months ago, and she had an oven. I'm like, oh my God, an oven. But every place that I went, no ovens, no ovens, no ovens. Cut to when I moved to this new place, they have washer and dryer units that are in the kitchen. Well, when I went to wash and dry my clothes, it didn't work. So the agent came in, real estate agent came in, and he says, we'll replace it. I said, well, what are the chances of him, the owner, what are the chances of the owner replacing this with an oven? Owner came back and said, no, absolutely not. And I was cool with it. I let him know, and I said, I guess it's not meant to be. I go on my phone today, I get a text from the real estate agent, and says, the owner says, pick out which oven you want. He paid for it, and he'll reimburse them. That's never done.
But you were told
I was told no, but the deal is, the owner told the real estate agent for him to pay for it, and he would reimburse them. That never happened. So I manifested Yes.
Well, you deserve it.
Thank you.
And when you give to others selflessly,
Yes.
the universe will reward you and give you
Obviously,
something.
because that's a big reward.
And I said to you before, when people are good to me, it always comes back.
Yes,
always.
It is.
So your oven, that's fantastic.
Is that crazy?
Yeah, that's
Is that
wonderful
crazy?
news. That's
I'm going to show you a
wonderful
picture
news.
of it.
Oh,
Because
wow.
it's picked out as order.
I'm looking forward to his yummy cooking because he's a fabulous cook.
Thank you.
And I look forward to enjoying the oven with you.
Okay, so let's talk about this month's challenge, right? Which is self-care. Let's just briefly go over the importance and the need of self-care.
Well, actually, this came up in conversation with somebody today who actually works in a hospital with critical cases in ICU, and it's a very stressful environment for her, and she's been managing it for like 6 years as a nurse, and she recently started to ignore feelings of that really bothering her. Her life has changed, she's gotten married, she's in a very different space, and she's starting to feel that this is actually having a very negative effect on her. She's going home and she's crying. And I said to her, it's wonderful to be in the caring industry and it's wonderful to give back, but you have to know when something isn't good for you anymore. And you can change how you give back, you can change how you care for others, but you must also first and foremost take care of yourself. And it's great to be able to give to others, but if you're doing it to the detriment of yourself, then it's not really giving in the right space, it's not giving in the right way. And a lot of people do that, and they're doing it because they want attention or affection or whatever. So guys, it's really important to do things that are taking care, and that means not just be careful about what you ingest in your diet, but also what you ingest from other people, negativity or...
What is important? Self-care, right. So self-care also means you're being aware of your vibration.
Yeah.
Being totally aware of your vibration, being totally cognizant of other people's energies.
Yeah.
You know, that's the most important. Outside of your health, your mental and spiritual health are so important and need constant maintenance and taken care of. This happens to be Mental Care Month. Did you know that?
Oh wow, I did not know that.
This is National Mental Care Month. So, I guess prescription drugs are needed when they're needed, and I'm not a doctor, but I know, or I believe strongly, that they can only be assistance and be effective when you've done the other work.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. And possibly, if you did the other work, the other stuff wouldn't be so affluent.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. But some of that stuff gets to that degree because people haven't been taken care of themselves or by others. Exactly. So it can escalate to a situation that you now have symptoms that are showing in your life or in your body that you now need to take care of. So it's very, very important to... This is the one thing that keeps coming up that I want to share. Everybody say, but isn't it selfish?
Sure it is.
People are constantly saying to me, but isn't it selfish?
Why is that negative? It's not.
It's not.
It's not.
I like to call it self-full rather than selfish because there's such a negative connotation to selfish. So I said, well, how about thinking it is self-full? And they're like, oh, I like that. Because you're just giving them a different word. But they know what it means and they can accept it because it's more palatable in that form. But basically, at the end of the day, guys, you have to put yourself first. And we're brought up to believe that it's selfish and selfish is a negative thing. But actually, if you don't put yourself first, no one's going to put you first.
And I agree with that. But unfortunately, selfish is unfortunately the word that people think is negative, but it's not. It's negative when you are not cognizant or not thoughtful of the other person for your gain. Then that's a negative thing. But to think of yourself first is not selfish in a negative way. And self-care also means dealing with things that you are fearful of. That's self-care. Dealing with things that you're fearful of or past traumas. Learn to deal with them as you get older because that can only be a crutch as to why you don't progress in your life for so long. That only works for a minute because after that you're lazy in terms of trying to be better. So if you've got do self-care, if there are issues that come up in your life, think about the source of it. For instance, if you don't like being touched a certain way and it makes you uncomfortable, research what that is. Do enough self-care to research it, get some help to talk about it with people that you trust, and that is self-care. So it's not only the surface stuff. You gotta take care of yourself so you don't lose your damn mind.
Yeah, I had someone come to me the other day and I was doing a reading for them and I I picked up on something and they just blurted this thing out and they said, I've never told anyone this ever. And I said, but why? You haven't got anyone to console you, anyone to say, okay, or this is another way of looking. They had never shared it with anyone because they were afraid of being judged. That's not self-care to hold it in for so long. That's hurting, it's destructive, and it was destructive for this person. And they actually felt a huge weight off them just because they got to tell one person. So what you're saying is true. And I always remember what you said to me about what do they tell you on the airplane. If something happens and the plane is going to crash or land, what's the first thing you do? If you don't put the oxygen mask on yourself first, you're going to go unconscious. You can't help anybody else. And I love that analogy. I think it's wonderful.
Right, and you know that the fear is a dangerous thing in terms of being stuck in your stuckness.
Yeah, I love that. I love that.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So fear can be a horrible thing and will prevent you from growing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So you have to learn to overcome your fears in order to move ahead.
Yeah.
And in order to remove yourself from the stuckness.
Sometimes the only way, this has come up a lot lately, sometimes the only way, people say, but how do I overcome the fear? How do I overcome the fear? Sometimes it's just a matter of feeling the fear and doing it anyway and pushing through it.
Right.
There is no, well, I'm going to find a solution. It's just about doing it, because fear is an illusion. Fear is your imagination thinking about what could happen in the future. I saw what you just did.
Here, I tried to steal her water. No, when Cindy said you can't drink from an empty cup, but no, it wasn't empty, but I was trying to steal hers.
That's absolutely right, Cindy.
Oh, you're talking, oh right. You can't drink from an empty.
Yeah.
That is so funny in the sense that
At
at the same time, Cindy, you said you can't drink from an empty cup. My cup was empty, and I was trying to steal her cup at the same time. Okay, yes, please elaborate on what Cindy was saying there.
Okay, so this is an analogy I've used quite a number of times, which I think Cindy obviously probably uses. That imagine life were like a cup, and the energy that you have for everything needs to be to the top. Okay, so when you fill your own cup and you mind your business about everybody else's stuff and you fill your cup, what happens is that then there's enough energy and enough extra spilling over into other people's lives and they can sip from the saucer. You shouldn't be giving from your cup because that's supposed to be for you, for your challenges, for your understanding, for your lesson. So when we're giving away all the time and we're half empty or half full, we're never going to really be of benefit for anybody or achieve anything. So be the full cup and spill over. Fill yourself up first.
Right. And in the process of that, I got to keep going back to that. Part of self-care is minding your own business. MYOB.
I like that.
MYOB. It can be one of the most difficult and challenging things to do, but it is by far the most rewarding thing ever.
Yeah.
Because when you don't emotionally or physically involve yourself in things that ultimately have nothing to do with and it is ultimately not your decision.
Yeah.
Whoa!
It's so freeing, right?
Oh my God.
I've really learned that from you this year. Like, I'd be upset about something and he'd say, but hold on a second. This has got nothing to do with you. This is somebody else's bullshit.
But I don't want you to feel bad. What's that with feeling bad got to do with you?
Yeah.
You can't change.
Yeah. That's their choice to feel bad if they want to, right?
Exactly.
And this is something that keeps coming up and I'm telling people, mind your business, and they go, what? Actually, I like that. Can I write that down? Like, it's this epiphany. Because we're giving people permission to say, it's okay not to get involved in everybody else's drama. That's their drama. Mind your business.
Well, you know, if you remember, about 15 years ago, the big thing was everybody was having the epiphany that it was okay to say no. Remember?
Yeah, I remember that.
Everybody was saying it's okay to say no. Now, mind your business.
Yeah.
Stay in your lane. That's the chapter in my book. Stay in your lane. Mind your business, and life can be so much better. That's part of self-care.
It is part of self-care. It's an integral part of self-care.
When you let go and mind your business, that's the best care you can take care of yourself.
Yeah.
And I want to share, you're going to kill me, but I'm going to share with you. Won't be the first time she killed me, and I rise again. But when I met Deb a year ago. She was doing her psychic, all of the things that she does, and it's a lot, while maintaining a teaching job that she hated. Okay, now this is the person who now embraces and can, without question, say go for it. Who was probably fearful of finance comfort or losing finance comfort. Who was somewhat fearful living in that space and doing what she needed to do. So with that, juggling her truths, juggling her reality, and not being able to totally pursue her passion. So that meant that her teaching job was tied into her visa, right? And then when we met and I saw her talent and the things that I felt she should be doing, and based on her gifts, there's no reason she should have to, or should in my brain, teach in her world, but not teach students who don't understand her at all. So it was always my contention, as it is most people, to try to get people to maximize who they are and create a life based on their passion and who they are, even if it's a smidgen, without not living in your truth or without doing something consistently that you do not like to do. Mm-hmm. So Debbie came to the conclusion that she was going to step out on faith, step out on her gifts, step out on her passions, and make a change. You make a conscious effort, like you have to do. You have to make a conscious effort to do what I call the ultimate do-over in your life. You have to make a conscious effort. So that entailed Debbie and I going to a country called Myanmar, right? Because you have to leave the country in order to do visa stuff. So when she did this, that meant it was the finalization of her leaving the corporate teaching world in order to pursue her passions. Now, we get there, we're great, and everything is happy. She's over the moon excited about this next chapter. Now you go. So what happened?
Well, first of all, 5 years ago, I left on a visa run, and I had a very, let's say, life-changing experience that was horrible experience. And my mindset at the time was, it wasn't negative, but I wanted to be normal. I was kind of fed up being the psychic and the strange one, and I had a little bit of, I suppose, not a crisis, but I was getting fed up with not being seen a certain way or fitting into the normal way.
What? Into the normal way?
The normal way.
But you know you're not normal.
No, I know that.
Okay,
now I embrace it.
So you're trying to fit in, you're trying to put a square,
it was just a group of people that I was around as well, and the situation that had just come to a huge...
Are you not around that group of people
Hell
anymore?
no.
No. Why?
Hell no.
All right, go ahead.
So when I went across the border to Laos, I had a horrible, like the kind of textbook that you read only on Facebook or on the news, whatever, experience, and it traumatized me.
You were stuck?
I was stuck, I was harassed, I was getting a shakedown by police, I was abandoned for 6 days with no money in Laos, and then
Laos is a country, bro.
Laos is a country. And when I came back, I basically was in a situation where I had to do something really quickly to stay here.
And I gotta tell the story and
go for it.
So the situation was so horrible that you stopped being a psychic for.
Yeah, I had a nervous breakdown.
There it is.
Basically the neurotransmitters to the brain stopped going, so my body would not have a heart attack according to the doctor. And so I cut off. I couldn't remember anything. I had no short-term memory, long-term memory. Everything was gone. It was a very humbling experience and very frightening experience. So I'd have to sit and wait until the memory of where I was just about to go when I opened my front door and sit back down and try and remember where I went. This went on for 3 months. That's a long time to forget why you stood up to go to the kitchen or go out the door. And I'd be going to work and I wouldn't remember where I was going.
Okay, so in a nutshell, we went to Myanmar.
So I lost my psychic ability.
So she lost and all of these traumatic things happened. So in a nutshell, she had a nervous breakdown. Period. She had a nervous breakdown due to the experience that she had. We went to Myanmar to start this new journey for Debbie, and then what?
when I lost my psychic ability, I realized that that was normal for me, and that was who I was.
What happened when we got to Myanmar?
Well, when we got to Myanmar, I was very nervous about this trip because I haven't had a trip for 5 years until we went to Myanmar. This guy came over and said, "Oh, you've got problems in your passport, and this is how the issue started 5 years ago," and started talking to me in a way that was very similar to what I had experienced 5 years ago.
Okay, stop. All right, so here's what happened. I was maybe 5 minutes away from nowhere near where Debbie was handling this portion of her business. Spirit said to me, instinct said to me, God said to me, go over to where Debbie is right now. And I shouldn't have, but I was told to, and I did. So I go over, and this guy is saying things to her, and I don't have no idea what he's saying. So I walk over to Debbie and I said, what's going on? And these tears, I said, are you crying? What the hell? Because this was like our new thing. And there's tears coming down her eyes. And hey, thunder and lightning. There's tears coming down her eyes, and she starts shaking. I'm like, what is going on? She said, you just don't. You just don't understand. And at that time, she had told me remnants of the story, but I didn't realize that we were basically different countries, but the same type of situation, same type of environment that had been triggered again. Yeah. And I said to you,
not on my watch. I got your back. Bring it over here. And he gave me a hug and he said, everything's going to be fine. Trust Spirit. This is a new experience. This is a new way forward. And we ended up having great fun with the immigration police. They smiled.
They loved us.
They loved
her.
us.
And listen to this.
It was ridiculous.
The guy that was giving her all the grief was not an authority. He had nothing to do with the trip, nothing to do with, he did. He's the guy that talked the whole 8 hours. Remember we talked about that last week? It was him. So because he talked so much, the assumption was he kind of knew what he was talking about. So what he did is he instilled fear in Debbie. It triggered her. And I saw it. I was like, God makes no mistakes. This is divine order. This whole trip was divinely planned. And I don't care what the surface says, this was not going down like this. And I said, they're not on my watch. No, ma'am, sir.
But the thing was, it was the complete opposite to what had happened 5 years previous. We ended up having a fabulous time.
We had a ball. It was like a staycation.
Yeah.
We had a ball, minus the guy talking on the way back.
But it cleared the past trauma, and I said to him, this is the final culmination of all that I had to learn from that period of my life and all the growth that happened. And it just felt like a clean slate, didn't it? It felt like when I crossed that border and came back, I came back different.
And okay, now let's segue into this. Since Debbie removed the fear, she took the self-care and she removed the fear. Everything, in my opinion, there has been such a change because she went after her passions of doing what she was gifted to do full time. She's on stage singing, performing. This whole new woman is emerging and just feels so light and so free. So the deal, and like I was telling her about the surprise party the other night. When we were in Myanmar, I had no idea that I wanted to do that. It was like briefly after we returned that I wanted to do that, and I was just shown who to invite, and it was all the people that willingly and desiringly showed up, gave you the accolade that you deserved and what you were worthy. So I think for the first time you saw and or felt your worth. But only when you were worthy, and you weren't worthy until you let go of all that fear and trusted God and trusted the universe to give you what you deserve.
Preach, baby.
Hey, hallelujah! Amen.
That's beautifully said.
No, but it's the truth.
No, it's beautifully said.
Listen, all right, so prior to this Myanmar trip, I'm going to say it, some of Debbie's clients are doozies. What does doozy mean? Sally says, what does doozy mean? Nutcases. Nutcases with just stuff that she worked through successfully, but it is such internal damage and spiritual damage. So like she was actually sick or throw up or have to rest, extremely fatigued, just damage. But since the Myanmar trip, her clients have been inspiring, made her laugh, made her grow and be proud within her gift and recognize things that had not been triggered in a very, very long time. So now, like I said to her tonight, God's track record has been perfect. You just didn't believe it. But now you don't have any reason that fear shit gotta go. No more of that.
Yeah.
Right?
When you're putting yourself out there all the time, it's like I've really moved away from a lot of things that I just don't feel a part of who I am anymore, or attached to certain things about the past, or just not serving a purpose. You just what's the point? Just move away from it. But this was the final test for me to move from that. And it's been probably about 6 months of just really going out there, going, okay, I'm not looking, I'm just going to take the leap. And that was the final thing. That was the absolute final. That was all that was left. Everything else has been cleared. And it's the most joyous experience when you take a leap of faith and you stop making the excuses of, but I can't because this person's my family, or I can't because this. Stop making the excuses. Put yourself first. Do what you feel in your heart and your intuition's telling you. I'm now following a dream of mine that I've had for over 30 years that I gave up on because I didn't think it was going to happen. And bam, there I am up on my birthday, singing, friends cheering, and just feeling so validated, so loved, so valued. And I've never experienced it to that degree before.
Yeah, here's the deal, is when I like I told you earlier tonight, I think that because you trusted the universe and you trusted God and you took the leap, you were rewarded by being given accolades by everyone who loved you and gave you, accolades for what you love to do. And that's the world that doesn't even deal with you. Well, I mean, they know what you do, but deal with you on that level per se. Yeah. But it's just like I'm seeing you on stage in a different light, going, whoa! Yeah. So that expands your desire to be out. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So all right, let's stop talking about that. So for you guys,
but it's inspiring for other people that are fearful.
And that's what I'm saying. That's what I want to say. Yeah. Go after your passion. Just listen. As long as you can go to bed at night and you have a dream, whatever that is, if it's a nightmare, as long as you're dreaming at night, you can dream when you're awake. Yeah. So if you have passion, don't stop it. Don't go for it. Yeah. Go for it. Go for your passion. Don't stop your passion. Yeah. Create the ultimate do-over.
Don't put your passion on hold. Like I was talking to someone today and I said, follow your heart. You're having so many people that you feel you have a responsibility to, but inside you have something that you want to do. Follow your heart. You can't hurt another person when you do what your passion is, what you were put here for. It's not going to hurt other people when you follow divine order.
Exactly.
You can't. It's just not possible.
And there are a lot of people who say, well, I don't know what my passion is, or I don't know what my purpose is. Mm-hmm. It's not that serious. What makes you feel good? What makes you smile? Is it writing? Is it singing? Is it making up? Is it inspiring other people? It's if you think too hard on it, then that's not your passion. Your passion comes naturally.
I had this client the other day, wonderful, wonderful guy from Singapore, and he's been doing nothing but helping his family out of one drama after another. And he made a promise that he would finish at the end of this year, and I had no idea. And I said, by Christmas, you're walking away from this. And I said to him, what is it you want to do? And he has no clue. No clue at all. Absolutely no idea. Because he hasn't been given the room or the permission to follow his dream. And he knew, at the time he finished the session, he knew that he was willing to, he didn't stand his ground. When he says he's finished by a certain time, he didn't stand his ground and ended. He kept going past the time that he promised to help because people are emotionally blackmailing him into things. And I said, that's none of your business what they're doing. Exactly. Your business is to follow your heart, not to keep picking up the pieces of other people's mistakes. Because actually you're disenabling those people. They're not learning because you keep running in to help. Right. Sometimes the lesson is from the mistakes they're making to let them clean up the mess.
Most certainly.
Yeah, he didn't see it from that angle before, but yeah.
Yeah, so the important thing is to follow your passions. Don't stop dreaming. No. And if there is a person inside of you that you love and somewhere along the line, life does what it does and it changes stuff, get back to it. Yeah. And it doesn't have to be an overnight process. No. But just figure it out. It's so important to be happy. I call my situation the ultimate do-over because my happiness comes first. It always has, always will. Always will. So within that, my happiness came from realizing that I had to leave America. Because all of the things that I wanted out of this portion of my life, or this next chapter of my life, could not happen in America. But this universe is so vast, America's that. That much of it.
Yeah.
And I deserve all of it. And all of it deserves me. How about that?
Wow.
You understand? So within that, pick up and go.
Yeah.
Leave your comfort zone. God has a perfect track record. So what would make one think that you fail? If you walk in the light, you're not going to fail.
Never gonna
Ever.
fail. No.
You're never going to fail if you walk in the light. So, yeah. Whew, I'm preaching again. I'm preaching. Amen. Amen.
Well, I feel that 5-year cycle that I've just ended from when all that began, I feel really blessed because I can look back and see in that year how much I learned and how much I grew, and then it's time to put that all into practice and push forward.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the thing, sometimes we go through tough learning curves, but it doesn't happen to you, it happens for you and through you.
Mm-hmm.
So you need to be able to look at what the lesson is and go, this is not a bad thing happening to me, this is actually something for my growth.
Even though at the time we can't get out of our own way to see it. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Why me? Why not
Yeah.
you? Why not you?
But that's just a victim mentality, which doesn't get you anywhere anyway.
No, but we've all suffered from it.
Yeah.
You know
Oh,
what I mean?
absolutely. Yeah.
Like situation happened last week. With Mahana.
Oh yeah.
I'm like, oh boy, and Debbie said that hey, something's coming up, and the next day something definitely came up. So next week we're going to introduce a new challenge to you all. We're going to make a wonderful announcement.
Yes. We have a big surprise.
We have a wonderful announcement.
Yeah.
So, what I'd like for everybody to do, I want to remind you of subscribing to the YouTube channel. Please. If you have any personal questions for Debbie, reach out to her on her group, join the page. And sometimes people don't want to comment in this live environment because maybe things are personal. But if you have questions that you want to reach out to about finding your passions, you can find me too on my Instagram, which is just Norwood. And I've written a book some years ago. I'm writing the second one, but when I look back on it, it's called Getting Back to My Me, and it's basically the steps that I took to remove certain things to find new things, right? And from that 7 years ago, getting back to my me, I was in the process of finding my me, and now I found it. So that's what the new book is about. So you can find me on IG if you want to talk to me, you have some questions for me or what have you. But Debbie has Spiritual Sessions group, Spiritual Sessions page. So if you want to anonymously or personally discuss anything, any questions about anything with her, you can, and me on Instagram or Facebook. So our past challenges, which we would like for you to continue to practice, are self-care, forgiving, and letting go. You gotta forgive and let go. That's part of self-care. Mind your own business.
Exactly.
That is so important.
Yeah.
So important.
Yeah.
And there was something else. I said that you subscribe to YouTube. I guess, was there anything else?
No, I think that's it.
Is that it?
Yeah.
Okay. So everybody, thank you so much for tuning in. We appreciate you. We love you. Right?
Yeah.
What do you tell them?
Yeah, we love all the people that are following this live. No, we appreciate you. We've had people say they're addicted to the show, they love tuning and they look forward to it every week. So thank you for all the love and support that we've been receiving. It really means a lot, doesn't it?
Yes.
Because we have fun when we do it, and we hope that our stories inspire you, because that's why we're sharing them. Because we're sharing how we live with you, so you can be inspired to do the same. And we've seen people already starting to follow us and write to us individually and tell us some scenarios that are happening and how our shows help them to move past it. So that's what we're doing it for. So please keep writing.
Oh, I know what I want to say. Yes, please keep writing. I know what I want to say. We are two different individuals who are on the same plane. And I said that to say this. I'm going to cuss. I am Norwood Young through and through, who happens to be a spiritual being in a vessel, in a body. But don't expect the Debbie Creagh brand of close to Mother Teresa. That ain't me. So if I offend you, I am not sorry. That is not my intention, right? And if you just want all Debbie without Norwood, she got pages, groups, do that. But at Spiritual Sessions Live, I don't know what's gonna come out of my mouth. I apologize last week for dropping the F-bomb, and for that I do apologize. But listen, just hang out with us. We have a great time, as you can see, and we hope we'll see you next week. Yeah?
Yeah.
And with that being said, your day is designed in perfection. Anything that goes against that perfection is a trap. Don't fall for it.